Alright, listen. The thoughts and opinions expressed on the Stay Down LA podcast belong to me, K Stacks the P, and maybe whoever else got the nerve to pull up. This ain't for the overly sensitive, overly serious, or anybody looking to be offended on purpose. If you mad, you might want to log off now. For everybody else, welcome to the Stay Down LA podcast. Let's talk our shit. What up? It's your boy K Stacks the P, and welcome to another podcast episode. This is episode 38 of the Stay Down LA podcast. Thank you guys. Welcome one, welcome all. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to all the Scorpions out there, wherever you guys might be listening, watching, or ingesting this content. I just want to say shout out to you guys because it's you guys that help me feel like I have a reason to keep coming back on here. And that's what I do it for. I do it for myself, but I do it for y'all as well. Shout out to all the Scorpions. This is brought to you guys by the Stay Down LA Collective, which is really just me, for real, and all my Stay Down LA brands. So, of course, we have Stay Down LA, which is where I just post all my content, reels, TikToks, videos. So you guys just make sure to follow me on Instagram, YouTube, so that way you can watch this. Follow me on Patreon as well. Make sure you guys tap in with me on there. Follow Stay Down LA Fitness if you guys are into fitness and you want to, reach your fitness goals, get healthier, or just want to have some motivation. Make sure to follow me on Instagram so that way you can be on top of that. And then, who am I? My name is K Stacks the P. If this is your first time listening to the podcast or watching this, I highly recommend you please go watch or listen to Stay Down LA podcast episode 1, so that way you get a general gist of what this is. But overall, this is a podcast where I come and talk about the things that I'm interested in. It's not necessarily I ain't gonna lie, it's not much room for debate when it comes to what the topics are on here. Yes, you can leave suggestions, there's a comment section. Yes, there is a community out there of the Scorpions, but for the most part, we know it's not some like I'm a dictator, but I dictate what goes on over here. You know what I'm saying? So I talk about, ranging right now, what's been low-key popular, social media, culture, music, as I am a content creator / musician myself. So of course I'm always engaged in what's going on, the newest tech, as I am a nerd, anime, movies, TV shows, media, like all forms of media, as I consume all forms of media. So we talk about that, and then I just give life advice that I feel like I use for myself, that's helping me reach the goals that I want to reach. And that way, if anybody else, generally, young men out there, young black men out there, young Nigerian men out there that are looking for some type of help, they can come over here and listen to this, as they'll find someone that relates to the struggles or the issues that they might be having. And then I'll let them know what I use to help me navigate through those problems and those things. And that way they can use it too as well. So that's generally what the Stay Down LA podcast is. And like I said, if you want to learn some more about me, definitely go tap in with the first episode. But for all my people that's returning, shout out to all the Scorpions that's been here and that's staying and sticking through. Without y'all, I don't know where I'd be. So it's a really big shout out to you guys, because you guys really give me the motivation and the love that I be needing. So thank you to all the Scorpions out there, and I love y'all and I appreciate y'all. So you guys already know the deal. We always gotta start the episode with a prayer. I am Muslim, so if you have any issues with Muslims, you better take the exit right now, because we finna get real deep and serious in this one. I wish to bless your eternal dream. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghayril maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amen. Allah, I just want to say thank you for another day. I just want to say thank you for another opportunity to be able to record another podcast episode, another opportunity to be able to come through with information and just be able to be myself and be able to do the things that I love to do. For the ability that I have to wake up, thank you so much for waking me up. Thank you so much for making me the head and not the tail. Thank you so much for guiding me. Thank you so much for protecting me. Thank you so much for allowing me the resources that I need to be able to live a life that I live. Thank you so much for protecting my parents. Thank you so much for protecting my family. Thank you so much for allowing me to make it to and from home. And overall, thank you so much for giving me the life that I lead, as I don't take it for granted, and I'm very grateful. Thank you so much for the audience that you have allowed me to build, and thank you so much for just overall everything. It's just so many places that I know I could go with, But of course, Allah, you know my heart and you know where I'm coming from. And I just want to give a big shout out to all my angels out there. Shout out to my grandmas on both sides. May you guys rest in peace. Shout out to Latif's mom. Shout out to my auntie Bussett. Shout out to Latif himself, of course. Shout out to my dog Elliot. Shout out to my sister Kalila. And I wish you guys rest in peace. Make sure you guys keep looking out for me and keep praying for you. Keep looking and keep blessing your boy and keep guiding your boy. And I'm gonna keep praying for y'all. And always, just knowing a day doesn't go by that I don't think about you guys. I miss y'all and I love y'all. Thank you. So now that we have got the most important part, because I tell you guys every time, the prayer is the most important part. Look at my eyes, bro. For the listeners, you guys can't see, but you gotta look at my eyes, bro. That thing, it does something to me, man. This shit means something to me. But as the title would say, we are on episode 38, so we're not gonna waste too much time because I feel like, yo, boy, I think I'm starting to get the gist of this. But let me show you guys what we got rocking. So for the listeners out there, you guys can't see, but for the watchers, I got my little boo-boo on me, you know what I'm saying, little boo-boo on a chain. I would put the case stacks and everything, but honestly, it was just one of these where I didn't want to like overdo the neck. So don't worry, the jewelry's still here, the jewelry's still in the back. Got my Corey Kenshin limited edition 10 million subscribers shirt, you know what I'm saying, white. And of course, I got the Adidas sweat song with my Kyle from South Park Crocs on, you feel me? So the fit is light, but I'm still coming kind of heavy. I don't have none of my figures with me. I know. This is the first time ever. But, it's one of those things where you got to make some sacrifices. And I had to make certain sacrifices today. And I thought to myself, well, as long as I show up, that's the most important part. So, hey, I'm showing up. You feel me? So don't worry. My niggas will be back next week. And honestly, too, I do have to apologize to you guys because I did kind of lie. I thought I was going to be able to talk about certain things by this episode, but sadly I still have to wait till next week's episode to fully legally talk about it and stuff. So one thing about me, I like my freedom and I like the ability to have to be able to do what I want when I want to do it. So I don't take that for granted. So I'm not going to put that at risk. So when I got the time to really talk about what I want to talk about, the elephant in the room, then we're going to talk about it. But I have a good episode for you guys nonetheless, as this week, or last week I should say, I went to go see the movie Ready or Not 2. And, I just still been watching this Neon Genesis, so I guess I can give you guys a little update on that. And this is as far as like the media that I'm going to be covering today in today's episode. I seen something today called Deconstructing Karen. I really like that. I really want to recommend that to you guys. And then as far as music, as you guys know, I'm a rapper, so of course we talk about music on here. I got some new music that I've been listening to. Big shout out to Rucci, as he dropped a song called 2K26 that I definitely recommend. That song is a banger. And he also dropped a mixtape called Rupak that we're going to get into this episode. 4 songs. I played a little bit of each of them. So far I'm liking it. And one thing about Rucci, he always knows how to kill a feature. He always knows how to kill a sample. Like the sample beats that he does are always like dope. And it's one of those things where, like I said, I don't know, people love to say niggas don't be talking about real shit in music, but a nigga like Rucci, he be talking about some real shit and he still make it lit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know what people be. I don't know. It's just, it depends on who you listen to. So I can't knock everybody else. So of course, then we got some stuff today for sure from like Instagram and Twitter that I definitely want to get into as well. Just some things related to, some of the Jay-Z stuff, some AI stuff, you know what I'm saying? Nothing too crazy. And then as far as like the weekly recap, didn't really do too much this week. Like I said, I've been what I call delaying my gratification, in a sense that I have the opportunity to go stupid, go crazy, but I just been waiting for like more freedom and more of a reasonable time to do it. Like right now, it's so crazy how everything works out. Because this weekend coming up, like after today, technically speaking, my spring break starts. So I'm about to have all next week, no school. And once I, on top of that, it's going to be another blessing on top of that. So when I say I'm about to be free next week, like all the run clubs that I haven't been able to go to, all the events next week, you're going to be like, where the fuck have K-Stacks been? Boy, when I say my next week's episode might just be full recap. I might not even be able to even get into like any topics for real. That's why, if anything, I might make today more topic heavy. You know what I mean? So be ready for that. And I'm saying that with like super excitement, because even if I just, you know what I'm saying, I ain't gonna lie, like I said, just giving y'all a sneak peek, right? Off this weekend alone, man. Shout out to my nigga Honcho, man. We got a party going up, man. The big step. Shout out to my nigga Cam Montana too, man. Matter of fact, I don't know if y'all gonna see this in time, but y'all should get a ticket. We going crazy. We going stupid. It's gonna be a movie this week. Oh my gosh. It's like, I've been waiting to go out till I graduated. That's what I've been literally doing. Cause I told you guys I have a Disneyland pass and I have a Universal Studios pass. So the last year when I was in school, I was sneaking a Disney trip during the semester. I was sneaking a Universal trip during the semester. But this semester, I've decided to just lock in, just be all in on school, and not put myself in a position where, especially because I work out and stuff, where, okay, I'm going to go out and I'm going to be super tired. You know, like, I'm getting old, man. Those Disney days, they're not as easy as they used to be. You know what I'm saying? My legs, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a lot of walking, essentially. So it puts more of a strain on my body than I think, so I might need more days to recover. So that's why I feel like next week is a perfect week that if I do want to go to Universal, for example, I might go. But I don't know. I wanted to go to Disney. I really want to go to Disney because I feel like I recently went to Universal, but my Disney pass isn't accessible for next week, and I think they did that on purpose. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's all blacked out. So for Disney, I'm probably gonna either go in April, or I might just wait till, like I said, I might just go literally the day after I graduate. You know what I'm saying? So I've already reserved the day. So if the day in April doesn't make sense, I'm not gonna go, and I'm gonna just go to the second day. But Universal is easy to go, so I might just, like I said, just go to Universal and probably do Six Flags with my homie E-Man. Shout out to my dog Emmanuel, because I definitely owe him a trip to pause on that. But we definitely got to go to Six Flags because we were supposed to go. But when we were supposed to go, it was during Ramadan, and I had to let my dog know, like, hey, it's Ramadan, and I would love to go, but I know how the outlook is going to be perceived. Like, this guy is fasting and he's going to Six Flags. Like, when I went to, like I told you guys, when I went to that weekend with the Whole is Fit, I had to call off, and I didn't fast that weekend. Like, the marathon weekend, I didn't do any fasting because I knew that if people see me outside doing all this list stuff and they thought I was fasting, it would be a crazy thing. But I don't know. Like I said, it was one of those things where that was planned already. So the Six Flags just didn't make sense, you know? Because I know you guys probably thinking, like, why you didn't just not fast for Six Flags? But it's like, yeah, it's like, I don't know, man. My brain just be braining, you know, sometimes. But overall, like I said, I got a good weekend coming up, and I've had a good week, to be honest. Like, I can't complain over it. I'm not saying like this week has been boring in any way, shape, or form. I was just saying as far as like I said, just going out, because I want to get more experiences. Like, I'm the older I'm getting and the more freedom that I have, I'm like, I have a lot more free will than I give myself credit for. And when I was younger, I was way more bold. You know what I'm saying? To just do stuff. And I'm like, I don't want to get into this mode where I'm just like now just staying in the house all the time, because that's kind of boring and shit. But like I said, we're gonna start with should I get into I guess we can save the music a little later. We'll do the Ready or Not movie review first. So if you guys do not want to hear the spoiler review, skip ahead probably like 10-15 minutes. I'm probably not gonna take that longer than that to do the movie review, because like I said, I really want to get straight to the point with the movie reviews now, instead of like giving you guys the whole full movie breakdown. I just want to give you guys what I liked, what I didn't like, the score as in the music, the pacing, the actors, and everything. And don't worry, this time I got it ready. I got it pulled up, so I already got the information ready and everything, so we could get into it. But I just wanted to give that disclaimer that if you guys would like to see the movie Ready or Not, here I come, and you don't want to have any like nothing, you want to go into it blind, please exit the video now. Alright, now that I've given that disclaimer, let's get into Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. So, I guess I could give my score. So, for Ready or Not 2, I seen that last week, Thursday. You guys know Thursdays are movie day, so you guys already know the vibes. Shout out to AMC. AMC, I'm still waiting for y'all to hit me. And I'm still waiting for y'all to get at your boy, man. We could do something, you know what I'm saying? We make movies better. I'm sorry. Let me get serious, man. Let me get serious, though. But nah. So, Ready or Not 2 is a movie that is a continuation of the movie with a similar name, Ready or Not, where this girl, her name is, sorry guys, I said I had it ready, but I do still have it ready. Samara Weaving, who plays Grace McCauley, she was in Ready or Not 1, right? And Ready or Not 1, under the same name, is basically this girl gets married to a guy, and, during the, I guess you could say the wedding, I don't know, I think it was the wedding night. It was the wedding night. During the wedding night, they have like a dinner with the family where the family's pretty much like, okay, now that we got the whole, incidentals out the way, now that we got the introduction out the way, and you want to be part of this family, we got a few things we got to do. There's this game we play where you pull a card, and depending on the card, we play what game is on the card. And if you win, something happens. If you lose, something happens. But it just really depends on the card game. And she's on some shit like, okay, I guess I'll pull the card. Like, I just got married to this man. I want to be part of the family. I'm gonna get along, you know what I'm saying? Reasonably so. Pulls the card, and it's hide and seek. And apparently, because there is a old novel called, it's called The Most Dangerous Game, where this guy goes to this island of this rich man, and the guy's like, oh yeah, I play this game where I hunt people that's on my island, and if they win, they do this. Apparently, it's supposed to be based off of that, like a new rendition of it. But essentially, she pulls hide and seek, and she has to hide until dawn. And if the family gets her and they kill her, they're good. But if they don't get her, then because of this, which, I know, is like, because of what? They're connected to the devil. So this guy called LaBelle that they're connected to, if they don't essentially kill her or win the game, because they don't just hunt her. It's not like they just gotta catch her. They gotta kill her. So if they don't kill her in the hide and seek game, they're going to end up having to die and stuff. So essentially, she wins the first movie. So she beats them, and she manages to survive till dawn, and they end up dying. So now, in part 2, we're seeing what happens immediately after, which I was worried about what they were going to do. Like, when I see that they were coming out with Ready or Not 2, my fear was that I hope they didn't have too much time between the first and the second movie within the movie verse, because that's what I was wondering. I was like, how would they have got her back into the game? But what I see in this second one is it picks up immediately after the first one. So we pick up basically with her walking out of a house. Let me see, because I took notes. Y'all know I take notes. Oh man, look, I think I told you I have unlimited memory. My brain, when it comes to these movies, it's like my brain has like a separate compartment where it just keeps it. But that's neither here or there. So essentially, or my apologies, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Let me give you guys the synopsis of Ready or Not 2. So, Ready or Not 2 is, after surviving one deadly game, Grace and her sister Faith must now outrun 4 rival families competing for a powerful throne. Winner takes all. And I like how they put it like that, because that's really what happens, in the sense that they just have to outrun these final families, and they're trying to get the powerful throne. But what they don't let you know is the throne of the devil. Which like I said, if I'm going just off meta, like I always tell you guys when it comes to just movies, art imitates life, life imitates art. I always feel like when they do movies like this, or just in recent times, Hollywood has been kind of like showing like, hey, this is what's been going on behind the scenes, but we can't just overtly just tell y'all like, oh, hey, this is what we do, we all devil worshippers. So instead, rather than do that, we're going to like just sneak it into these movies and make it look so whimsical, make it look so ridiculous that you don't believe it. But for the ones that are like me, that's like, could read between the lines, you guys are able to know that, like, yeah, like I tell you guys all the time with alien movies, there's no way a nigga just woke up one day and said aliens are real. No, the nigga experienced an alien invasion. The nigga got freaking probed or something. Hey, it is what it is. So when they be saying these devil worshiping movies, it's not like a nigga just said one day, oh man, I wonder what the devil is like. No, these niggas be tapped in with the devil, and they be knowing people that be experiencing what they experience, and they just be trying to put it on paper or put it on art. Or they have like just excerpts where they just know. But pretty much, they get it from somewhere. Unless you just, you know what I'm saying? People are everybody's so creative, you know what I'm saying? So some people could just think stuff that like that. But when I see things like this where it just comes off, let's say for example, too realistic, there's too much of a chance that I could see this actually happen in real life, I'd be like, nah, there's a reason for that. You know what I'm saying? Clearly this happens in real life. And within this movie, I kind of get the same feeling. Like, there are those families that maybe, because like I said, you know, if we want to go, I believe in God. I'm Muslim, so I believe in Allah. But, you know, I know some people that may be like, oh, like, the devil's not real. Like, you know what I'm saying? People have whatever they believe in. So I'm not going against that. But let's just say, for example, in relation to this movie, I feel like what they're trying to show is that there are ties in the world where certain families have way more power than they should have, and they have way more pull over like certain things that they should have, and like, you know, maybe it might be the devil or it might just be something else, which could just be money, you know what I'm saying? But either way, like, these niggas have power over things that they shouldn't have power of, and because of that they have influence over too much shit. And like, hey, even if like, I don't know, do something about it. I don't know if these movies be cry for help. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it be so confusing, right? It's like, are y'all trying to expose it because y'all want some change, or y'all just want to like just talk about it? You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't know. You never know. You never know. It's so weird, right? It's so weird. It's so weird. But with this one, like I said, we immediately pick up with her just kind of like surviving, right? So essentially, once you lose your deal with the devil, for example, right? Or you don't have your half of the deal, or you don't, you know what I'm saying, you don't complete your bargain because it's like a blood oath. You explode. So when the family couldn't kill her, they all exploded. Like, literally, they all exploded, like popped, like popping a bubble, like, you know, like a soap bubble, popping that shit, and they blew up. So when the police arrived to the burning house, naturally, seeing her covered in blood, they're like, holy cow, what's going on here? They take her to the station or take her to the hospital, get the DNA swab of the blood, realize there's a lot of dead bodies there, or let's just say people missing, because I don't know if they were able to find the bodies because, you know, technically they exploded. But there's people that's supposed to be there and they're not there, and you're covered in blood and it's not your blood. It's an open closed case for me looking at it. That's what the officer is thinking, right? So while the officer, which is fucked up, right? I feel like if somebody just went through something kind of traumatic, or what looks like they just went through something traumatic, can they get a chance to breathe, my nigga? Like, this whole movie, bro, I guess maybe that's the theme. They're not giving her no chance to rest. Like, near the end of the movie, where she kind of like does one thing that leads to another, she's just going back to back to back to back. Like, they're just beating the heck out of this woman, like, with just experiences, because she just leaves the house is burning, covered in blood. She's just trying to smoke her cigarette. The officer's like, nah, you can't smoke your cigarette. We gotta go to the hospital. Okay, cool. They put her in the hospital. Oh, no. Google, I'm not talking to you. Hey, Google, I'm not talking to you. You good? Sorry about that, y'all. Now she wanna listen.
Sorry, I don't understand.
You see what I mean? Like, why she gotta do all that? Why she gotta make herself known? You know what I'm saying? Like, chill out, Google. Have some composure. You know what I'm saying? Have some composure. Shit. So, man, yeah. So they're like, okay, let's take you to the hospital because you look like you've been through a lot. They put her in the hospital, in the ambulance, hospital truck. I was about to call that shit the hospital truck. They put her in the ambulance, and she kind of dies for a moment, and then they resuscitate her and they bring her back to life. Even when I was doing my notes, I couldn't remember what is it called. Like, I don't know, what is it called? But I know it's a shit where they be like, clear shock. What is that shit called? I'm gonna find it and then we'll figure it out later. But pretty much they do the shock thing where they do the clear. I feel so bad for not knowing this. It's bothering the hell out of me. Like, you guys don't even know how much this is bothering me for not knowing this. Brain, do your magic and try to remember it, and then when you remember it, just bring it to the front of my brain, and then just make me say it so that way I could just say it. But yeah, they do the little clear thing, and then like the whole time, it's like 3 times they do it. The first time, she's like having like flashbacks of like before she met him. The second time, she's having flashbacks of after, when she meets him in the wedding. And then the third time, you know, basically we're just seeing like a replay of what happened in the first movie, but through flashbacks of her being shocked and everything. And then on the third shock, she comes back to life. Yay! Woo! So we see her in the hospital. Like I said, the detective comes through and presses her. But as that's going on, we're showing the families, or we're trying to show the aftermath of what happened after the whole thing. So the rest of the families, so the main family is the Danforth. That's who we're following. The family that was with her, I don't know, I forgot the boyfriend's name or the guy's name, but they're out of the picture now. So it's yeah, so it's 5 more families. It's this one gentleman. Oh, I forgot what other movie he played. I got the list right here. I'm tripping. Dead homies. So Elijah Wood is in this movie. He's a lawyer. I don't know why he's not showing no pictures anymore. I don't know these people by name, Google. So I don't know what it's doing. It'd be so weird, like when the internet be tripping, and you actually have internet. So it is the gentleman. Yep, Kevin Durand. Wow, they have a nice picture of him right here. But he's been in a lot of movies. He's been in The Naked Gun, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Abigail. Dang, it's hard to say what character he really plays in these movies, because I don't know if you guys know him, you'll know him. But he's a Canadian actor. He's best known for portraying Vasily Fett in The Strain and Joshua in Dark Angel. So if you guys know him from there, yeah. So after that, we pretty much see the other family. So I say that to say Kevin Durant is one of the families. Nestor Carbonell, Ignacio Cardo, that's another family. Nadim Umar Kitab and Varum Saratan, that's a family. So it's like there's like an Indian family, an Asian family, and I guess it would have been 2 Asian families technically, but he died. Hispanic family, and then like an English family, and then like an American family. So essentially like different places, different parts of the world, like, you know, families that represent, I guess, different cultures and everything. And they pretty much get a text message from the Danforths telling them that, hey, because the family that was supposed to get married to Grace, they didn't win the game, the ring that was in their family is kind of up for grabs now. You know what I'm saying? Which is interesting, right? I'm like, I guess, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Because the dad, right? Because the dad force had the ring, but the family that lost the game, they didn't have to. Because I'm basically pretty much I was trying to say, like, why did they have to like give up the ring even though they're not the ones that lost the game? You know what I'm saying? But I guess that's the clause, is that if a family loses, the ring gets up for grabs. You know what I'm saying? But because nobody's ever lost the game, nobody's ever expected it. So I guess that's the whole premise of the movie, is that like, well, I don't want to say it's the whole premise, but I guess that's the underlying like message of like, or underlying like, the gag is that even though these families have all this power and there's a chance for these niggas to literally be like, I'm talking about when we see the Danforth dad, this nigga is literally on like his bed watching the war go on, and the nigga's like, give me the phone, tell him to sign the peace treaty, and then literally the war stops. And I was like when I seen that, I already peeped. Like I'm smart, so I seen that, and already my movie brain was like, oh, these niggas got power, because there was a war happening, and he said, do the ceasefire, and they did the ceasefire, like to the point where the live news literally changed and said ceasefire. So I was like, okay, that's already letting me know the type of power and pull these guys have. So he's like, oh, pretty much finds out that, yeah, the family dies. He calls his kids in. His kids are a pair of twins, a man and a woman, played by Sarah Michelle Gellar and Sean Hattassi. Sean, you did your shit in this movie, because there's a part in the movie where Sean starts beating up Grace's sister, and it's just crazy. Like I said, spoilers ahead. I know I'm kind of going through. I'm going chronologically right now, but it's because, like I said, I just want to give you guys like the premise of like the movie before I go to the parts that really matter. So that's just to set the playing field. So like pretty much the reason they're even in this situation is because the family that was supposed to kill her didn't kill her, and now the ring is up for grabs. Now all the families that are tapped in pull up, but what ends up happening is like I said, Kevin Durant, aka Bill Wilkins' character, he just pulls up to the hospital because the way the movie starts is like she's about to get arrested essentially, and then she's at the hospital and they call her one emergency contact, and her emergency contact is her sister, which I forgot that in the first movie they didn't really have us like really give her much of a family. So shout out to 3C Films and shout out to the Fish and Jelly reviewers on YouTube, because I'm not sure which one pointed it out, but allegedly in the first movie she didn't really have much of a family. So like it was one of the ways where they just like kind of like cynically just made a nice reasonable reason for why she would have a sister. So she has a reasonable reason for her sister. The sister pulls up to the hospital and is like, yeah, like I know you're not happy to see me, I'm not happy to see you either, but you have me as your emergency contact and they called me, so here I am. And then it's like a weird relationship, you know what I'm saying? It's like a weird reunion. But the police officer basically breaks it down to her, is like, yeah, she's about to get arrested. So they're basically about to take her, and I'm like, dang, like in my head I'm like, that's how the movie started. So I'm like, how did she get kidnapped? Because to my knowledge, this officer is about to take her out of here. Bro, when I say this nigga Bill comes through and shoots the officer, essentially he's about to kill Grace. Because basically the plan is that the rules is if you could kill her in the game, you could win it legally and then you could take the power. But in his idea, I guess in his mind, he's just like, I'm gonna just kill her, period. Like, I'm gonna fuck the game, I'm gonna just kill her. So he goes to try to kill her in the hospital to try to like bypass everybody else playing the game and stuff. And when he basically is about to kill her, he blows up. So prior to this, her and her sister, Grace and her sister, were kind of like having like a mini heart to heart where she was like pretty much like, how are you even in this situation? And Grace was like, girl, you're not even gonna believe me. And Faith is like, just tell me. So she's like, man, okay, I tried to marry this guy. The guy's family was devil worshippers. We played hide and seek. I beat him and they all exploded. And Faith was like, yeah, you're right, I don't believe you. So when she seen Bill blow up, she's like, okay, so maybe what you're saying is not cap. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe what you're saying does make a little sense. So I'm thinking they finna try to like, escape. But nah, the Death Force basically pull up to the hospital and like kidnap him, because I guess that was the original plan, was like, oh, we're just gonna go to the hospital. I don't know if they were gonna kill the officer, but they were gonna go take her. You know what I'm saying? The whole plan was to go and take her. So when they get there and they see that like, oh, that there was like a situation there, they put two and two together that, oh, okay, the Bill nigga came through and tried to get ahead of the game and kill her. But because of that, he put his family in a bad position too. So because he died, everybody in his family died. So that's the thing too. Like, if you cross the devil, I guess in this movie, your family and your lineage, they all suffer from it. So even that aspect is like pretty dark too, because it's like, damn, like, but it makes sense, if you guys are, even if you are indirectly, you know what I'm saying, benefiting from the benefits of the devil, I could see how he'd probably be on the shit where it's like, well, shit, yo, dad made the deal, but you got to live in this mansion because of his ass. So either you die or you get out the mansion type shit. So I could see that being like the case. But yeah, him breaking the rules is like, I could see that making sense too, because it's like you try to like do some shit like that, some thirsty shit. So the Death Force come and kidnap her, but before they do that, they have to kill their dad, because the new version of the game, now that all the families are involved, the oldest person in the family and the oldest able person in the family now has to participate in the game. And the game is the same game, so it's not like they changed the game. It's another game of hide and seek, but now it's Faith and Grace. So it's the original character and her sister involved now, which I guess as far as that aspect was like cool. It was funny. It was a little, I ain't gonna lie, it was kind of too funny. It was too funny. It was kind of took away from the seriousness, because there's points in the movie where I know people are probably like, oh my gosh, on edge, but I'm dying because I'm like, this shit is not serious. Like, there's a point where they're in the field and the Hispanic family kind of like sees her, and the dad is like about to snipe her, but then he drops the freaking ammo out the bullet, like out the gun. So it's like, I guess that's what I was saying earlier, like the whole premise of the movie is that like, yeah, while these people have the chance of a lifetime to like be this powerful, none of them are ready. So it's not even on some shit where it's like, because before the game starts, everybody's super cocky. They see Grace handcuffed and tied to the chair, and everybody's like making fun of her, recording her. The Hispanic family, apparently the daughter was going to marry the nigga that Grace was going to marry, which confused me a bit, right? Because I'm like, okay, so two different worshippers could marry each other? Like, I don't know. Like, that just confused me because I'm just like, I don't know. It is basically what I'm saying is, if he had married her, would she have to play the game or no? Because technically speaking, they're both already tapped in. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm like, I don't know why they even introduced that aspect to the movie, because it's like, okay, maybe to give them some type of beef, like you took my nigga, but and in that aspect too, like they kept kind of subtly making Faith feel like Grace was like a gold digger. I don't really like that because I feel like it was unnecessary, because it's like, okay, like to me, it seemed like Grace really liked the nigga she was trying to get married to, but he happened to be a devil worshiper. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, they they don't really give too much detail, but in the sense of Grace was definitely trying to get saved for sure. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the storyline they're going with in this movie, is that like we were in foster care and I had to move to New York, but I couldn't take you with me because I was only 18. So her sister kind of just resents her from that, and like that's just the only annoying part of the movie, because it's like, okay, cool, I already done told you. Anytime I say okay, cool, Google hears me. I don't know why. Hey Google, I'm not talking to you. You're good.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
And I don't know why. You understand something else. But this is the first time this has ever happened. I'm actually going to turn her off.
The mic's off.
So yeah. Bet. It's like, sis, we're in a life or death situation right now. I know we don't have the best relationship, but can we at least just, I don't know, like, just work together? Like, it was just annoyingly frustrating how difficult the sister was being, I guess. You know, it's like, cool, I know you want to have this reunion. I know you want to have this, like, this, and not necessarily therapy, this closure moment, but not right now, sis. Like, let's get out of this compound. Let's figure something out. And the sister was really just dragging her down, and it just sucks because I'm just like, dang, like, I don't know, like, why would they do her like that? Like, why did they make her so annoying? And then they didn't make Grace irredeemable either, because there's a point where, like I said, Grace kind of goes off on her sister, and like the sister walks away, and then that's when she kind of runs into the twin brother, and that's when the twin brother beats her ass, and then like that's when they kind of get her. But at the same time though, like Grace literally goes to the little the security little hut and gets a gun and then kills. Like, it's just so much things in this movie that was like, okay, like I guess I'll give you a pass for that, but for y'all to make the stakes so high, it was just so much annoying things that were happening in the background, I guess, you know? Like, I just didn't need the whole moment of Faith just being so difficult, you know, being so annoying. It's like, I guess I don't know, maybe I just expected them to be able to get past that past stuff way sooner because of the stakes, you know what I'm saying? Like, I thought because of, okay, like, clearly, sis, I know we don't have the best relationship, but like right here, right now, let's become a team. Like, we're still sisters at the end of the day. Like, let's just work together to survive this, and then we could figure something out after. But it just seemed like, nah, like the sister Faith was like, nah, like I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I wanna get to the bottom of this shit right now. And it's like, bro. And like I said, Grace is just getting her ass beat. She getting shot with arrows, getting beat up. Like, it's just they were just going through a lot. But, you know, like with any good movie, you know what I'm saying, good plot armor, eventually they find a clause where, because like I said, I'm not gonna go through everything, but one of the families, is an Asian family. She comes up to Grace. She's like, look, I ain't even trying to kill you for real. I got a son, and there's a clause that says that if you marry my son, we don't have to do any of this, and like we could like be good. But me, I ain't gonna lie, me as an audience member, I was like, oh, that's an easy deal. But yeah, me and Faith were like, oh yeah, like, Grace, you should definitely do that. But which is funny, because it's funny how she rejected it early on because of the fact that they were devil worshippers, but then used it to her advantage later. You know what I'm saying? But I guess that was the that was the kicker of the movie, is that she didn't figure out a finesse until the very end anyway. So she wouldn't have been able to like do what she would have did at the end in the middle of the movie. Because essentially, right, if she married into the family, they don't have to kill each other, they could be good. But you could kill family, you know what I'm saying? So that's a secret ingredient, or that's a special thing that gets her out of her shit. Because when the Asian lady comes up to her and is like, oh yeah, you should like marry my son or whatever, Grace is like, yeah, I would, but you're still a devil worshiper. And she's like, yeah, you're right. And she's like, okay, so like if I do that, then what I gotta do? She's like, just some normal stuff. And then Grace is like, sacrificing shit, huh? She's like, well, yeah. And I'm like, oh, I'm kind of glad you took the time to think that out, Grace, because I was ready to have you sign that deal. I ain't gonna lie to you, because it just seemed like they weren't gonna win the hide and seek. So I was like, if this is gonna help you guys survive, I'm all for it. I think you should marry this nigga. And plus, like I said, the son did seem like an oaf, like an oaf. Like he didn't really seem like someone that like. It pretty much looked like she'd be able to finesse them for real. Like on paper we're married, but I'm gonna go do my own thing. Like that's what I thought she could have did. But once the mom or once Grace basically was like, so like, would I be able to just be my own person? And I was like, nah, you actually gotta be a devil worshiper. I was like, you motherfucking right. You guys are devil worshippers at the end of the day. So even you trying to do this good deed, there's still evil wrapped around it. You know what I'm saying? There's still a sharp ass barbed wire wrapped around this gift that you're trying to give her. So essentially, she doesn't take the deal, but the sniper Hispanic guy comes through, and then like the Asian lady accidentally kills him, and then they kill the Asian lady. So then the Hispanic guy's daughter has to step in, and that's the ex of the person. Like I said, they have a little fight that went on for a long time. Freaking did a pepper spray. That scene I didn't like. I didn't like how like I didn't like how much they stretched it out, because like I said, the whole time that's going on, Grace's sister's getting her ass beat, and it's like it doesn't seem like a simple beating. It seemed like the brother's like really like beating her ass, but like on some like he's been holding back like all this like anger, and it just seemed so unnecessary for the moment, especially because her and Grace getting into it was just so unreasonable. It's like Grace had just got injured, and her sister was basically trying to help her, and then for some reason Grace was like, you know what? This is the perfect time for me to like get off my grievances on your ass. You never fucking listen, because that's what it was. The twins had tricked them into meeting up with them, and when they met up with them, Grace and her sister basically had a chance to escape, but Grace got caught. So Grace was like, Faith, keep going. But Faith was like, I'm not going to leave my sister. And honestly speaking, I kind of sided with Grace, because I'm like, if the whole thing is that they want to kill you so that way they can have power, I probably shouldn't let them kill you. You know what I'm saying? Like, even granted we're not the most coolest, we don't really fuck with each other like that, I don't want these niggas to win either, you know what I'm saying? And the fact that she was just so upset at the fact that her sister came back, and it's like, girl, I came back to save your ass, like, and to save the world. Like, ultimately, like, I'm not gonna just give these niggas my sister. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then imagine that. I ran away, and then, like, I was looking back. Because, like I said, if you've seen the position that she was in, she was captured. Grace was finna get cooked if her sister didn't come back and help her. So, I'm like, shit, you should be really grateful. But essentially, they get into it because of that, and then, like, they go their separate ways. The twin brother gets Faith. He starts beating her up. And then, after Grace kind of, like, wins the battle against the ex-girlfriend, she's like, she starts feeling bad, which, like I said, as a psych major, I knew was going to happen immediately. I said, bro, you are under a lot of stress right now, sis. You're not mad at her. You're mad at the situation you're in. Like I said, y'all, they have not given this girl a break. Since the moment the movie started to this point in the movie, this girl, Grace, has just been going through it. She's been just getting beat up, bodied, and shot, stabbed, and, like, punctured. And they don't have no freaking hospital. There's no freaking med kit that she could just wrap around her finger and shit to just heal up 100%. No. She got to just keep it going. And she was keeping it going, man. But I think it was getting to her, and she took it on her sister. Naturally so. But I just felt bad, because I was like, I already knew that you're not gonna stand on that. The moment you calm down, you're gonna see that, like, yeah, you was tripping. Like, you know what I'm saying? So she realizes she was tripping, tries to go find her sister, but that's when the twin is like, hey, I got your sister. If you want her back, you gotta meet me here. So when she meets him there, they basically rescue the sister, but then, like, they get locked inside this like freezer room and shit, and the brother comes through and he's like, hey, fuck all this other shit, I'm gonna just shoot you through this room. And then she's like, you know what, I'm gonna marry you because the Asian lady said that if I marry you, we don't have to do this game. So the lawyer, because I guess the devil has a lawyer, whatever, you know what I'm saying, that was funny, I thought, to me, because it's like the irony, you know what I'm saying. So the lawyer was like, she's right, which is even more interesting to me because it's like, so you knew this, but you just wasn't gonna tell him, which is so crazy, right? So yeah, she gets married to him, and like this is the part where she finally gets cleaned up, finally gets a chance to like, I guess, rehabilitate a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause not really, they didn't really give her a chance to like rest. They just like freshen her up, and it was so crazy because like during the whole movie, she's looking whooped, she's looking chopped, fam, she's looking chop chat. But when they cleaned her up, she looked really nice. She looked really nice. Her and her sister. So before the wedding, the twin sister comes up to her and is basically like, "Hey, I know you're going through this to like save your life and stuff, but like your life is probably not gonna be any better being with my brother. You know what I'm saying? Like this nigga, I don't know if he's gonna be able to be controlled anymore." And then I guess he kind of hears the, you know, tail end of that conversation is like, "Controlled? Me? You know, I'm sick and tired of you guys trying to control me." And right then and there, he kills his sister. And he whispers like, "There's nothing against killing family." So I guess that's when Grace decided that, okay, cool, like I made up my mind. I'm gonna kill this nigga. Like, since it's okay to kill family, that's what I'm gonna do. So that's what I'm gonna do. So essentially, pretty much they get married. They do the whole sermon, and it's so creepy because they're like in this like basement with this big ass pit with a whole bunch of dead bodies, freaking flies, all this shit. Like basically where all the other sacrifices go and rot. Oh, it's so creepy. Everybody's in hoods, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. And then yeah, she pretty much is like, okay, cool, like, yeah, so we're married, bet. And the moment I guess he goes in for a kiss, she kills him, throws him into the thing, and then she asks him what's the rules. And the guy's like, okay, well, since you have the power, you know, since what you just did is technically illegal, you definitely not own the power and stuff. So she's like, yeah, now with this power, I relinquish this power. That's my first decree. I don't want this shit. So she pretty much is like, that's what I want to do. Like, that's what I'm changing. I'm not fucking with this shit no more. I'm removing myself from the cult. You know what I'm saying? She's taking herself out the group. So essentially, now the ring is up for grabs, and there's only 3 minutes left till dawn. So she throws the ring into the sacrifice pit. So everybody, I'm talking about everybody that was there, except for, of course, for the lawyer, is pretty much like, shit, I want to fucking own the power. So they all go inside the pit, which to me is like, well, like I said, it already signified how much you guys didn't think about living anyway, because how are we going to get out? You know what I'm saying? Type shit. But they all dive in that pit, and they literally have a fight to the death for the ring, and nobody gets the ring, and then they all explode. So now the power of the devil is now like kind of like just disappeared, or I guess you could say the pact that was made with this ring is now gone. So now the devil's still there, but he probably has to make another deal with other people. It probably has to be like a new, fresh one. So essentially, that's how it ends. She beats them at their own game, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? She finds a way to kind of finesse them. Like, she doesn't win. If we're being honest, she kind of was on the brink of losing. You know what I'm saying? Like, they kind of like had her at checkmate, and she said, "Look, how about I just switch teams?" And they're like, "Okay, we'll do that." And then she switched teams, killed the nigga on the team, and then said, "I don't want to play anymore." But because the way she did it, it's technically not against the rules, they had no choice but to let her go. Everybody tried to get after it, and then nobody ended up getting it. So, yeah, that's Ready or Not 2. I enjoyed it. I gave it a 2.5 out of 5. Now that I'm like talking about it, because I'm like, yeah, there was some like a lot of stupid stuff that actually went on. But I like the way it was executed, so I left there with a 3. I left there with a 3.5, kind of like 3.3, kind of like 5. They looked really good. I liked the movie itself. Like I said, the action was really nice. It was funny to me. You know what I'm saying? I would definitely watch it again. It was just frustrating because I just feel like certain things just didn't make sense. Like I said, certain aspects were just like, okay, like, sis, can we just get along for this moment? Cool. Like I said, I didn't like kind of like the part where he started beating her up. So that might just be like a personal thing for me where I was just like, yeah, that just seemed a little OD. But other than that, that's Ready or Not. I ended up, I ain't gonna lie, I said I wasn't going to, but I ended up watching the full explain video for Neon Genesis Evangelion. I'm not gonna lie, the reason behind that was because as I was watching, I think I was on episode 17, I just started getting confused. If you guys don't know what Neon Genesis Evangelion, I can't pronounce that shit. Neon Genesis Eva is like, it's kind of like a Gangdom type of show. It's honestly a lot to explain. Like now that I've watched the full explain video, for me to give you a full scope of it would be, I can't give you guys a mini explanation of it because I wouldn't do it justice. Just think of it like this: a time where, I guess, aliens, because I don't want to call them gods. I don't do that. Y'all know there's only one God. But a time where aliens came to Earth, 2 aliens came to Earth and essentially fucked some shit up. Some humans got in contact with the aliens and was like trying to do something with aliens. They ended up fucking some shit up more. But now we're seeing the aftermath of the second fuck up. You know what I'm saying? And like essentially we're following this guy called Shinji, who he just comes through this. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like I said, I'm really trying to make it make sense. He comes to meet his dad, but his dad is like, yo, I don't really fuck with you, but we have use for you pretty much. Like I have this robot that only you command, that only you could pilot. I'm not gonna give you too much context on why you're the only one that could pilot it, but just know that you're the only one that could do it. And then Shinji's like, that's it, nigga? You only call me here to pilot this shit? Nigga, I'm fuck out of here. I don't want to do it. And then he's like, okay, well shit, if you don't want to do it, get the fuck out of here then. I got somebody else that's gonna do it. So when he sees the person that was gonna do it was this girl named Ray, but she was like severely injured, he was like, what the fuck? Like that's what I'm saying. Already off tops, this movie fucks with you mentally. Or this show fucks with you mentally. Because even if I was in his position, I would do the same thing too. Like, really to be talking, if I'm a healthy, you know what I'm saying, young man, you call me here to come in, you know what I'm saying, let's just say fly a plane. You call me here to come and fly this plane, and I'm like, man, I don't fuck with you, Dad. I don't want to do this shit. Or I don't fuck with you, and I don't know anything about this. That's the thing, like, Shinji is so in the dark that it's like, bro, I could only imagine how confused he is. Even though I still kind of call him a little punk at the end, I gotta still give him some grace because of how, like, probably, like, thrown off he is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I haven't seen my dad in years. The moment he reaches out to me, he tells me he wants me to, I don't want to say fly a plane. Let's make it simple. He wants me to be a NASCAR. He just wants me to be a race car driver. You know what I'm saying? He wants me to join his team. And then I say no, and he's like, oh shit, okay, you don't want to join the team? Fuck it, I'll have this person join the team. And the person that he says join the team is low-key like almost on their deathbed. I'm like, as a real nigga, I ain't gonna even go for that. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, now, because now let's bring it back to Eva. Let's bring it back up. So we brought it back to being a car, but now let's bring it back to it being a robot, like big ass robot, because I need you guys to understand. So now, let's say you gotta pilot this Eva. There's an alien that's attacking y'all, and they try to use normal human means to defeat the alien. Essentially, the only way the humans have a chance against the aliens is by using alien technology, which is the whole premise of the movie. It's like, or premise. I keep saying movie. I don't know why I keep saying movie. The premise of the TV show is that the only way that we had a chance to win against the aliens was by using the alien technology, and it's not really ironic, but it's like, it's to be expected. Alien technology is alien, so it's like, did you really think you could control it? For how long do you think you was gonna be before the shit was gonna like turn on y'all type shit? So eventually, one of the aliens pulls up and is attacking them, and that's why they call Shinji, or that's why they had to use their own alien to fight. But the person they had to fight it can't really use that specific one, and the one that they're using is not really good. You know what I'm saying? Because let's just say there's four human aliens, and then there's the aliens. So the human aliens have to be piloted by humans or dummy plugs, as they end up making later on in the show. This is further on in the show. You not even going to worry about that. But just to say where I'm at right now, pretty much Shinji was like, yeah, okay, I don't want to do it. But then one of the aliens attacks the building, and because he attacks the building, right, some debris almost falls on Shinji. When the debris almost falls on Shinji, the robot Evangeline protects him, and the dad is like kind of like smart, so he's like, all right, like yeah, that's what I expected to happen. So, like I said, this whole time we're not giving much background on this. We're not giving much and I like that. Now I think about it, right? Because this might be one of those shows where it's like you might have to finish it and then rewatch it again, knowing what you know, so that way you can see why. Because that's why I'm giving Shinji some grace right now, because now that I'm watching it now, or I guess recapping it or going through it, the whole show is kind of in the POV. We're seeing it from the lens of Shinji. Like, imagine, like I said, you come in here and you're not giving no information, you're not giving no background, but you have to figure it out as it happens. And then as the audience, we're having to figure it out too as it's happening. You know what I'm saying? So we're figuring out as it happens, and then we're just, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, we're just being told one thing, and then we're just like, okay, well, I guess we won't question it. But the whole time, Shinji's really just trying to get his father's approval. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's acting like he doesn't really fuck with his dad, or I guess you could say he's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, mentally, he's just been through a whole lot, and then piloting Ava didn't make it any better. So it's like he's just getting more and more traumatized. His relationship with his dad is getting more and more estranged. The dad is a creep because literally, like I said, spoilers ahead. This whole section of spoilers. He kind of makes another version of, you know what I'm saying, his wife, but in the form of like a young girl. But the weird part is the name of the young girl that he uses for the wife or the robot, I guess you could say, or the clone, is the name that they would have used if they had a daughter. So it makes it even more deeper. That's what I'm saying. Like, the lore is so deep, but you don't figure none of this out till like episode 18. So like once I got to like episode 17, my curiosity was too peaked. I was like, nah, there's too much behind the surface that I can't just sit here and watch. So I get off of Netflix. I see on Netflix that, oh shit, Neon Genesis, because you know they have related, there's freaking movies. So I'm like, there's a 25 episode series and there's 3 movies on Netflix. What is this show? I was like, then it was like when you just like take off the curtain. So I'm like, what the hell is this? So I go to YouTube and I see there's an hour 30-minute video about Neon Genesis explained, and I'm like, what the fuck? And the nigga explains the video and it's like, oh bro, there's 6 movies and a 26 episode series or 25 episode series. So I couldn't hold it on anymore. I had to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, there's too much going on that I feel like is going to hurt my feelings to not know. And the secret word of today's episode is Cabernet Sauvignon. So after I'm over here watching this shit, I'm like, nah, bro. Like, I need to find out more. So pretty much, like I said, I don't want to spoil it, but it's just really deep. You know what I'm saying? It's just really deep, and I'm like, even the guy in the video said, I know you're thinking, you might think that hearing all this information might not let the show hit different or might not hit the same. It still hits the same. But I say that to say that, like I said, when I watch these old animes, I don't want to call out anybody. And like I said, this is just me. This is my opinion. This whole podcast is just my opinion at the end of the day. Everybody has their own opinion. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I just always like, it's kind of like when you hear a new age song and you're able to find the sample and you're like, oh shit, like this is the song that so and so did the remix to or did a beat to. Like, this is what the original song sound like. So like anytime I see what I feel like it's inspiration for the animes that I love nowadays, I love it. So I feel like Neon Genesis and Attack on Titan might have some connection, or might be maybe the author or the artist was inspired by it, because I see a lot of Eren Yeager in Shinji, but I feel like Eren Yeager is Shinji if Shinji was like I said, like, I want to take control of my future. Like, yeah, I might be a slave and I might be forced to have to do stuff, but I'm going to make a change. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole aspect of, like, you know, humanoid aliens, you know, they got to be at the back of the neck. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then the Titans being connected to some Ymir, you know what I'm saying, some holy trees, like just the deep rooted connections. And then like the way that even how like because the episode I'm on now, Shinji is kind of like he just disappeared into some fluid or whatever. Like how he went to like this area between space and time kind of reminds me of what Eren Yeager did, where he went to space and time and was talking to Ymir. And then just overall how like all this stuff was just destined to happen. You know what I mean? Like how it was just like written in fate, and it was just, I don't know, but just Neon Genesis is just pretty dark though. It's just, I ain't gonna lie, it is pretty dark, and like at least from, like I said, the way that the guy explains the whole thing is pretty deep. And then now, the episode I'm on now, I'm essentially seeing Shinji's dad when he was young, and I'm so confused, because I'm like, okay, I thought Shinji's dad was like some type of like superb genius, like scientist or something. It's looking like Shinji's dad was just tied in with some secret cult that wanted to do the project, and then pretty much was just looking for scientists that could help make it come through, and that's how him and the current scientists got together. But I guess I'm just confused as to like what eventually got the scientists to like fuck with him, because the whole time, and that's why, like I said, I think they do a really good job at, they make Shinji's dad look unappealing, and then like, you know, just he just looked like a issue to be around. Like he's not the type of guy that you would want to do business with. So it's like for him to do all that and then still in a sense like kind of get his way, it's like, damn, like this nigga was very calculated, you know. I don't know, like I said, I'm kind of bouncing all over the place, but yeah, that's just to give you guys an update on Neon Genesis. I'm definitely enjoying it. I'm lucky almost done, and I'm kind of sad because I'm like, damn, like another show that is like is gonna like change my mindset and how I think about stuff. Because I don't know. I mean, it's not on Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood of level of like mind changing and stuff, but it's just really interesting because, like I said, at parts I'm thinking to myself that like, dang, Shinji's being like a wuss, but then I think to myself too, I'm like, well, imagine being in this position though. Like that probably would be traumatic. Like being through all of that and then having to, like, you know what I'm saying, you're thrown into war, and then, you know, like there's one episode where he has to fight his friend pretty much, and he had to kill him. Like that was a lot. So my bad, Shinji. But I guess the only thing I don't like was I guess that's what it was, his unwavering want to like he doesn't seem like he wants to change his mind. You know what I'm saying? Like he just seems like he's okay with being the same way, and like in a sense like he's okay with being pessimistic. I think that's what it is. Y'all know I don't like pessimistic people. I don't like pessimistic attitude. Like he seems like he just he just despair. Like, okay, like, yeah, nobody really fucks with me. Like the only reason they fuck with me is because I piloted Ava, and if I didn't pilot Ava, nobody would like me. And because of that, man, there's no worth living. Because pretty much, like I said, spoilers ahead, he has a chance to like kind of like save everybody, but because, like I said, he just it's one of those things where it's like, do you want to live through life with the ability to possibly feel pain, or do you want to live without pain? And I feel like it's one of those things where I kind of have to go through too. So I guess that's one of those things where I'm like, I kind of relate to the show in that aspect where it's like, you think to yourself, okay, you think living a good life is a life without no pain, is a life without no hate, without nothing ever going wrong. But in reality, that is a part of the good life. Like the good life is the life that has the up and downs. The good life is the life where it's like sometimes it is super lit, sometimes it's boring, sometimes you have a girl, sometimes you're single, sometimes you're in love, sometimes you're heartbroken. Like all of those things come together to essentially make a good life that's worth living. So the whole time, I feel like the premise of the show is to show Shinji that like it's more to life than living in your pain. It's more to life than just holding all this hate for your dad and just being like don't let that be what your life is supposed to be. But I ain't gonna lie, he just kind of let it be what it's supposed to be, and he just let that be his personality. So, you know, but eventually, like I said, once he sees what happens when he does live like that, he does end up coming around. But like I said, essentially there's 6 movies where it's like different timelines of like different versions of what happens, you know, which that's the only part that really confused me, because it's like, okay, so there's multiple endings, but they all kind of like make sense because essentially they're trying to get him a good ending, you know what I'm saying? So I guess the TV show is the bad ending, and then there's a good ending in the movie, you know, whatever. But we gonna experience it as I keep watching it, you feel me? So that was Neon Genesis. And then I was on Twitter today, You know what I'm saying? As I be doing my tweets. And I seen this show or this video. It was like a small clip of this show or from this thing called Deconstructing Karen. And I just wanted to recommend it because I just watched it today and I feel like this is a perfect, like, what I feel like how, because people be trying to like act like racism doesn't exist. I feel like this is the perfect video for someone that doesn't understand racism in America and like how prevalent it is still, and the ways that, like, how do I put it? Essentially, what I feel like this could open your eyes. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like with my sex and gender class, shout out to Dr. Haas, I had a predetermined, or I guess you could say in institutionalized thinking when it came to sex. Like I thought I knew sex down. I told you guys I thought I was just on some shit where it's like, okay, I don't get into that, but pretty much I thought I knew how sex worked. And then when she started telling me pretty much that, like, yeah, nah, girls be horny too. Like, nah, girls be wanting to fuck too, nigga. Like, that girl that you thought you just, hit and she never hit you up again, that was her plan. She knew what she wanted. So when when she started putting my, I was like, oh wow. So basically, it forced me to start questioning the things that I believed. This, I feel like, is a good example of what I feel like. Why I keep saying that? This is a good example of how people should do that with themselves too when it comes to this racism in America. Yeah, you might not think you're racist, but maybe think about it. Like, really process some of your beliefs and process some of the things in the way that you go. And it's called Deconstructing Karen. And like I said, in this scene in particular, they're essentially, it's a dinner called Race to Dinner. It's where white women have conversations about racism, and it's like a documentary. Like, it's like an hour, 30 minutes long, where these two colored women, one Indian, one black, pretty much invite a whole bunch of white women, and they sit at a table and they pretty much like expose that the way they're thinking is ignorant, and that they're thinking that they're not racist is actually fueling the racism. You know what I'm saying? Like, how they even put up an example of how, like, when people be like, oh, I don't see color. Like, no, that's an example of white privilege, because you should see color. Like, color does exist. You know what I mean? But I play a part of it. So I definitely, like I said, I recommend it. I watched it today and I fucked with it.
So I saw a couple people surprised that I raised my hand. When I said that I was racist, I am racist against black people. So it's institutional. Indians are institutionally racist against black people.
I don't see color. I don't see. So how she said, I'm blinded to color. Like, it doesn't faze me at all. When we bleed red.
I'm just gonna drop the bomb here. That's white supremacy. Color blindness is white supremacy. Do not teach your kids to be colorblind. Do not talk about colorblindness. Don't say that.
It sucks because in the actual video they don't have all that background music, but it's a TikTok clip, so they have to do it so they don't get copyrighted. Sorry about all that extra ass noise, but essentially, like I said, I learned a lot too watching this. Like, even some of my mindset, I was like, yeah, like, this is how I would explain it. This is how I would make it make sense. Like they said, it's institutionalized racism. You know what I'm saying? Like, you thinking that one thing, and then just overall the examples and the way that, like, even at the table, like, one of the white women was about to cry. She was like, hey, if you want to cry, you got to get out of here. Because what happens when white women cry? Everybody's attention goes to the white women. And I'm like, that is true. That's crazy. And just overall, like, even just noticing how, like, some of the women there, is like, they weren't even trying to, like, really understand it. It was more so like, I just want to show, like, basically, I'm trying to, how do I explain it? They pretty much wanted to look cool or look better than the other women by pretty much, like in a sense, like, yeah, you know what, you women right here, what you guys are saying is so real. Like, yeah, y'all need to change your mind. Instead of really processing what they were saying, they just wanted to just, like, agree. You know what I mean? And there's even some women here that still that even with all this stuff, were negating everything they were saying. They were basically like, man, like, y'all tripping, and they had to, and I think that's was so telling, right? It wasn't till the other white women was pretty much saying, like, nah, like, what you guys are doing is invalidating their experiences and is invalidating what they're saying. That's when they started believing it, and that kind of, like, goes to the point of just like, yeah, like, that's just really the society we're in. Y'all so freaking removed that even in the situation right now, you guys still not gonna believe this information until it comes with a white person, you know?
I don't see the color of your skin, and we cut ourselves open. It's bleeding red.
If you're going to cry, leave the table and go into the living room there.
It's right there.
When a white woman starts crying, what happens?
All the attention is taken. When I was in Charleston, South Carolina last summer, I get into my lift, and the guy turned around and looked at me, and he said, "Lady," he goes, "I hate to have to say this to you, but if I get pulled over, you're just another black woman," and he's black, and he said, "Put your hands up, do as they say, do not make any trouble."
He actually told you
Yeah, of course.
that. God.
Of course.
That's the life he lives.
And
That's his reality.
But that's his reality. She's worried that her kids are gonna die. I cannot remember a time that I have not woken up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat. I want to ask also to stop acting shocked. So part of white feminism is acting so surprised when we tell you.
But it is. Why are you telling us not to act the way that we act if it is surprising?
Because
to me, that is surprising.
That upholds white supremacy. Why are your feelings so hurt? Why are your feelings more important than the reality of the violence of our lives?
You walk through the world with a different experience because you are a white woman.
So I can't sit here?
You gotta go. Sorry, sis.
I think I have a little bit of a problem with the we versus I. I think that there is the big perpetual we, right? We white women for sure. But I think there's also we African Americans, and we were slaves, right? And these things happen to us. That doesn't happen to everybody, right? I mean, and you, I understand, and I am here.
It happened to all African Americans.
Yeah.
It didn't happen to you.
Listen. One of the things that we know, let me
Absolutely.
just
And
say.
I have a lot of Native American history,
Science.
and I don't take advantage of
Science.
any of that.
Time out. Are you saying that black people, African Americans, descendants of slaves, are taking?
Like, that's what I loved about this conversation. None of the dumb shit went over her head. The way she caught that moment so fast. Wait a minute. What are you talking about? I don't use none of my Indian privilege. Like, what are you talking about, dude? What are you talking about? Let's replay it, guys. Because I'm really, even when I seen it, and then when you see it, because, of course, this is not full context. So, of course, they do end up making sense of it, and it does look better on YouTube. You can find it on YouTube. It's called Deconstructing Karen. It's on YouTube.
What happened to you?
Listen.
Because pretty much her point is that letting her know, like, oh, because you weren't a slave, that what happened during slavery doesn't affect you. And that's what I'm saying. That's how far removed you guys are. Because you never experienced racism. To you, you won't be able to understand how the slavery affects a black person in today's time. The way it affects us is the way that we're judged in our everyday life. The way that we're questioned way more. The way that people feel more comfortable with us. The way that we're like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about? And it's just so crazy because like it becomes such a normal thing to go through that it's like being a black person is almost expected when I go to certain places. Like, okay, yeah, I gotta act a certain way, or I gotta be more calm. When I'm walking by certain people, I already give them their distance. I make sure I say excuse me because I'm like, I don't need nobody saying that. Like, I don't even get into it with people because I'm like, bro, you're not finna make me the aggressor. You know what I'm saying? I'm finna leave the situation. Like, when people do stupid shit around me, I just make them look stupid and I leave. But I'm not gonna sit here and, oh my gosh, word of bro. Allah knows not to put me in these situations because we're gonna go viral. I'm not gonna put my hands on you. I'm just gonna make you look stupid, bro. I'm gonna make you look so dumb, like for real.
One of the things, let me
Absolutely.
just say.
I have a lot of Native American history,
Science.
and I don't take advantage of any of that.
Time out. Are you saying that black people, African Americans, descendants of slaves, are taking advantage of that? You just said
That's not what I'm saying.
At these dinners, we see white women behaving badly. And that bad behavior looks like denial of white supremacy, denial of racism, and even denial of slavery. This is nothing new.
Why is it that being called a racist makes you so upset?
It doesn't make me upset anymore. I believe that every white person is racist because of the system. and I had to learn about the system to get that.
Do I love you less because you're a different color? Absolutely not.
But do you realize that everything you're saying is taking away everything they just said?
Like, come on. That's all that they were trying to get. But since we're on Twitter, we might as well get into the Twitter topics, guys. Oh man, dead homies. We're doing good. I'm loving this episode. I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting a hang of it. Before I get any, before I even go any further too, I want to give a big shout out to my nigga Matthew. I know. Like I said, for me, this shit means something to me. So when people be telling me that they like my podcast and they give me compliments, like I was on a game the other day and I was on a PlayStation party and they came on there and it was just so random. It seemed like so out of place that I was taken aback, bro. Like if he hears it in this episode, he's probably gonna laugh because I was taken aback, bro. This nigga comes in the PlayStation party, he's like, okay, Sax, like yeah, I heard your last episode, I really fucked with it. And I thought he was being funny because, you know what I'm saying, niggas just be being joking. But he was like, nah, like, he was like, oh, never mind then. But like, you know when something like that immediate, like, okay, well, fuck, if you don't want the compliment, I'm not gonna give it to you. That's how I knew it was for real, because it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It was just, I could just tell immediately, like, okay, like, this nigga's not trolling then. So that just made, I don't know. That just made my day. I ain't gonna lie. Like, it just, I'll put it like this. Sometimes, you know, like I said, sometimes when I make these episodes, besides my twinski, Donovan, shout out to my nigga Donovan, big shout out to my nigga Donovan. He just told me he got into the double digits of the podcast, and I be feeling bad because I'm like, brother, you might take a while for you to catch up to these episodes because I'm going crazy. So when my nigga Matthew told me that he listened to the podcast, I was just kind of like, I was just really happy because I was like, oh shit, like sometimes I be forgetting that people I know could listen to these too, so that I don't be thinking about it sometimes. So that was just really nice to just hear that. So shout out to my nigga Matthew, you know what I'm saying, like on me. Just know I'm gonna keep going and know I really appreciate the compliment, you know what I'm saying? Like that shit motivated your boy. But yeah, so like I said, that was Deconstructing Karen. So while we're on Twitter, I'm gonna get into some of these Twitter topics. So the Bachelorette lady, she ended up getting caught. So ABC has canceled The Bachelorette after their lead was seen in a leaked footage physically attacking her ex-boyfriend and throwing metal chairs at him while their child was present, and reportedly the child was struck during the altercation. So what is so crazy about this, right? There's a show called The Bachelorette, which, like I said, I try not to judge too much, you know what I'm saying? But I know people like watching certain things, you know what I'm saying? People like watching podcasts, so I can't really tell people what not to watch, you know? But I guess it's kind of like in a realm of like, you know, rom-coms or whatever. But there's shows called The Bachelorette and The Bachelor where they go on there and there's like, it's weird to me, right? Because it's one guy, a whole bunch of women, and he's essentially trying to date all y'all at the same time on TV. And then the opposite, but the whole time he's trying to get married to you guys. And it's the same thing with the women's side. It's a one lady, a whole bunch of guys, and she's trying to get married to them on TV. That's what people like, right? What they say, absolute cinema looking ass. So that's what people are into. That's what they're into. But I guess the most recent contestant, they didn't do their homework, or what everybody's been trying to expose or really trying to get at is they feel as though because she's not black, you know, tying into racism, you know. Look at that segue. You see I just segued into that conversation. Because of the fact that she's not black, maybe they didn't do that much of a deep dive into her background. But then someone else that also was on the Bachelor show said that when he was in the Bachelor show, the amount of background checks they did on him, each level of the way, lets him know that they did do a background check, because this lady was convicted. She pled guilty to the case. She pled guilty to domestic violence, and she ended up getting off of parole or something. Pretty much around the time that she got accepted for the show, she just got off. Or she just, not got off, but like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't as big of a deal, this situation anymore. But it was still very prevalent to where if, like, for example, if a job was to do their background, you know what I'm saying, of reporting to you, they will see this fucking thing or they'll ask you about it. I guess just like with the Diddy situation, these niggas didn't care until they see the video, which I feel like is more telling. Like, you telling me you niggas wasn't going to do anything about it until y'all seen the video of her throwing the chairs to beat up her husband? Which, you know what's so funny? I'm one of those niggas that anytime I see videos of niggas getting beat up by women, I ain't gonna lie, I be getting pissed off. Why am I getting pissed off, you might ask? Because why don't you niggas just walk out? I don't like the whole, bro. Oh my God, she's beating my ass, y'all. Hold on. Let me get the camera right. All right, start hitting me again, bro. She's beating my ass, bro. She's fucking me up, bro. Can you guys see this? She won't leave me alone. Like, I have every chance to leave, but she won't leave me alone, bro. I'm trying to, like, she won't get off of me. I get so irritated when I see those videos, bro. Because I'll just be like, bro, as a man, maybe that's what I'm saying. Maybe I'm part of the problem. I'm part of the patriarchal society of men and shit. Man, because it even, 6, 7. It even ties to what I've been going through. Man, life is so crazy because if you go to school, if you try, I'm telling you, you could learn a lot. You know what I'm saying? And you will see the connections between life and like learning. Because in my multicultural class, on my online class, the current week we're talking about gender roles and stuff like that. So it's funny because as I'm saying what I'm saying, I guess it kind of ties into what I did because we had to take a gender role test, and on both of the tests that I took, I scored very high for I scored on one cisgender male, and on the other one I scored traditional male. So basically he's saying that like my mindset aligns with the general or like the status quo for what they feel like a man should be. Responsible, paying the bills, doing all this. It's just in certain aspects though, I was kind of like a little lenient. Like I was wondering, like when it said, oh, I feel like a woman should have a voice, I strongly disagree. But kind of like, I know this is a quick segue, it all ties together though. Kind of like to what I've been doing in my Psych 3040 class with the survey, it lets me see how limited a survey could be if you don't really, I guess, attribute all the possible ways that a person could think. Because within that survey, granted, while it did kind of align with me, it wasn't deep enough or wasn't expansive enough to really like cover all the bases of how like of what a man could be. Because like I said, while I may be a traditional thinking man, I am progressive in the sense of, like I said, I'm kind of 50-50, you know what I'm saying? My girl could work, my girl better work, you know what I'm saying? Baby girl, these bills ain't gonna take care of themselves, you know what I'm saying? She gonna have to put in her part. Because like I said, I still want my woman to have some type of independence, unless she really wants that. If she just wants that, I just don't want her to come complain to me later when she's on some shit where it's like, oh, Caduce, why'd you let me become a housewife? Why'd you not let me, like, be independent? Why'd you not let me, like, work and shit? Like, why'd you just take care of me so good? Like, I'm lazy now. I don't have no freaking, like, I don't have no sense of identity. Don't blame me because you said you want that, baby girl. If you want me to provide that for you, I'll provide it for you. But, hey, I just know, realistically speaking, you're going to be bored or you're just going to be like, damn, this is not really all it's cracked up to be. I'm telling you, I feel like, even just as a person, like, you're not just meant to just be stagnant. You're not just meant to just stay in the house and just do that. You know what I'm saying? And I want kids. So, like, even as far as that, like, baby girl, we're going to split it up. There's only times where I'm in the house and you outside doing your thing. I'm going to be at home taking care of the kids. So that way you don't be on some shit where it's like, oh my gosh, I lost myself because I had to be a mother. I was there, baby girl. I was with you. I didn't give birth to him. So I don't know how much that going to hurt. So I can't say shit about that because I know that's going to be crazy. I was there with you. I was raising them with you, baby girl. I was changing them diapers too. And yeah, I was there. Come on, calm down. Chill out. So yeah. So I just say that to say that right there was a good showing of how in a survey, if you don't really have it all together, you could really like congest it to certain spots and congest it to certain roles and everything. But I say that to say that I do kind of feel like as a gender role status goes, I don't think men should be getting beat up by women. I'm sorry. I don't think men should be putting hands on women. That's why I just feel like, I just think that's one of those things where it's just like nature. Like I said, unless you're just physically not able, if you're a healthy, you know what I'm saying, strong enough man, I don't think you should be letting a woman beat you up. I think it's okay for her to like, maybe, okay, for example, right? She just slap you a couple times and you know what I'm saying, you wasn't expecting it. But if you just staying there and just getting constantly attacked and like you just, the thing you're doing is to record it for evidence, I don't know, bro. Like I said, I don't know. It's mostly where, like I said, I will record it, but I'ma still get away. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I'll be recording and staying. I guess that's what it is for me. I don't like the whole idea of recording and staying. record and leave. Record and walk away. Record and get some help. Stop it. Get some help, you know? But, like I said, and that's me, I'll be honest, that's me saying that out of ignorance, you know what I'm saying? I know. I gotta put that disclaimer out there, you feel me? Before they clip it and then take it out of context. Because I'm watching this video and I'm just like, brother, I don't know, man. And then, like when they say with niggas, this is not the first time she did this, gang. You know what I mean? It's not the first time she did this. But it's even crazier, I ain't gonna lie, it's really scary. Like, seeing her do it, though, like, ooh, I'm telling you, bro, like I said, that's why I would get away, because this would scare the frick out of me.
Say, Taylor, this is all you do.
Let's play the audio.
Physical abuse. Yeah.
This is them fighting, audience at home that's listening.
Yeah. See, Taylor, this is all you do. It's the only thing you know how to do. Holy
I don't give a
Let me go. Stop. Dude, leave me alone.
Damn. Like, that's why I wouldn't want to fight a girl, because they use weapons. Oh, bro, I'm out of there. She threw that chair. And that's why, like I said, it's like, bro, it's not even fair, sis. You really don't want me to start trying to put... That's why I don't be... Because that, to me, I'm telling you, I guess that's my whole logic behind it. I feel like women don't really want to fight niggas. They just really be trying to, like, defend themselves, I guess, in a sense. And I guess I say that to say that, like, when you show a woman that, like, hey, stop that shit, bro. Like, me not putting my hands on you is not because, like, I can't. It's because it just doesn't make sense to me. I'm not trying to... I could really hurt you, so I'm leaving your ass alone. Leave me alone. Like, I feel like that's what we gotta, like, let women know. Like, come on, fool. Does this really make sense? We're really about to fight. I'll be so irritated when I see women squaring up with niggas in videos and the niggas being calm, and I'm like, sis, this nigga's clearly not trying to fight you, and you over there really squaring up with this nigga. I feel like, yeah, you gotta go. You gotta go. And they be in the comments talking about some da-da-da-da, yeah, because I really fight niggas, da-da-da-da. I got brothers. Sis, you're still a woman. Relax. If I put you in that titty, you... If I kick you in your coochie, yeah, you can kick me in my dick, but come on, what we talking about? I got way more options. I can just pull your hair. Like, it's not a reasonable fight. That's what I'm like, doesn't make sense. So they gotta escalate it. What they gotta do? They gotta use a weapon. And she freaking yeeted that chair at that nigga. Sheesh, lock her ass up. And that's what they did. They locked her ass up. But as you can see, because she's not a black woman, somehow, some way, she still ended up being a possible contestant. No, not a possible contestant. Like, let's not even say she got a possible. They put her on the show. She was going to get on the show. They just said, oh shit, we seen this video and we can't stand beside her now. We can't, nah, this looks too crazy. Yeah, we done. So that's why they cut the plug. So just to let you know that, hey man, so if you're going to record it for your safety, do it. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I just feel like record for your safety and get to safety. You know? I don't know. Like I said, maybe I'm too mean. Maybe I'm too mean to these niggas. But in music news, the first criminal case of streaming fraud where a North Carolina musician who used AI to make songs then streamed them billions of times, making himself $8 million. A North Carolina musician has pled guilty to stealing $8 million in royalties with fake streams on AI-generated music, in the first ever criminal streaming fraud case brought by U.S. prosecutors. Michael Smith, 54, copped to one count of wire fraud conspiracy on Thursday, March 19th, in New York federal court. He agreed to forfeit his $8 million in streaming fraud proceeds and faces up to 5 years in prison. Michael Smith generated thousands of fake songs using artificial intelligence, and then streamed those fake songs billions of times, said Manhattan's top federal prosecutor, U.S. Attorney Jay Clayton, in a statement Thursday. Although the songs and listeners were fake, the millions of dollars Smith stole were real. Millions of dollars in royalties that Smith diverted from real, deserving artists and right holders. Smith's brazen scheme is over, as he stands convicted of a federal crime for his AI-assisted fraud. What did I tell you guys? Before we get any further, before I even read any further, guys, what did I tell y'all, bro? What episode was it, man? What episode was it, man? Let's see. Shout out to the STAYDOWNLA podcast. First of all, we got 171 plays, 4 followers, bro. 108 plays in the last 30 days. 30 hours of consumption plays in the last 30 days. We're not playing. But before I get any further, I just really wanted to just say something real quick. It was episode number 14. AI needs to be slowed down. I already said it. This was October 10th, 2025. I knew it. I seen it coming. I said, bro, I use AI, so I'm not saying this as a AI non-user. I'm saying it in the sense of I've been trying to preach ethical use, or at least half and half. Like I said, like use it to where it's like, use it on means where it's not gonna, you know what I'm saying, be a bad thing. When they were talking about AI music, I can't tell you how hurt I was. I was so lost. I said, bro, if we finna be allowing niggas to just make AI songs and let that just be able to get plays, we lost the plot. We lost the game, because what are you talking about? How can I, a human that's actually trying to process actual thought, compete against a computer that can, granted, the song quality might not be as good as a human, but just overall on just play value, replay value might just play better. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you, I was on Instagram the other day. Somebody freaking made a TikTok or posted a story, and like, I think I might have said this last episode, or I might have just told the homie twin, because it for some reason me talking about it sounds familiar. But let me know if you heard this already. Essentially, the guy posted a picture, and the song that he used was an AI created song, and I went to the person's page, and it was an AI person. Like, even the profile picture was AI, and I was like, wow, like, we got AI Instagram pages, like, and they really have songs that get used in reels, and people really save their track. Wow. So I thought to myself, I said, damn, like, niggas could really get paid off of this. But the fact that somebody really got convicted of basically wire fraud because he streamed his songs billions of times, like, I don't know, because I'm like, isn't this what Drake was trying to do? Like, I don't know why it didn't work. It didn't work for Drake, but it worked for them right here, I guess, because now Smith remains free on a $500,000 bond until his sentencing hearing this upcoming July. So he's going to be free till July. His lawyer declined to comment on Thursday. Smith was arrested in 2024. Damn, that nigga been in jail for 2 years. Sheesh. He was arrested in 2024, or maybe he's been free this whole time. But he was arrested in 2024 on a 3-count indictment that charged him with using thousands of bots to continuously stream his songs on multiple platforms, including... But that's the thing, right? Because I'm like... I don't know, man. Including Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, YouTube Music. Starting in 2017, prosecutors said Smith originally used his own small catalog of human-made music for the scheme, but later turned to AI for content. So he used human-made music at first, but then later turned to AI for content. In late 2018, Smith allegedly began working with the CEO of an unnamed AI music company to supply songs for his fake streams. The indictment says Smith promised to share the proceeds with this company in the form of the greater of $2,000 per month, or 50% of his monthly revenue. Though this company is not identified in court papers, interesting, Billboard reported in 2024 that hundreds of the songs registered to Smith list Alex Mitchell, the CEO and founder of AI music company Boomy, as co-writer. At the time, Mitchell told Billboard, "We were shocked by the details in the recently filed indictment of Michael Smith, which we are reviewing. Michael Smith consistently represented himself as legitimate." So, Mitchell is pretty much saying that, hey, we never knew this nigga was doing AI music. We thought this nigga was legit. This just goes to show you guys, you might as well just do shit by yourself, bro. Oh, no cap. No fucking cap. You might as well do this fraud shit by yourself. What do you mean? I mean, then again, because I'm thinking to myself, right? If I was doing some fraud with a nigga and we had a company and shit, would I want him to stand beside me, or would I want him to not stand beside me? Because what he's doing is not necessarily throwing him under the bus. He's saying I thought he was legit. But at the same time, I don't know. Pretty much I'm kind of torn here because I don't want you to get in trouble either. But pretty much I don't want you to admit that we was doing some wrong shit. So yeah, I guess this is the only way you could. Yeah, you're right. So never mind. He might have did it the right way. But I just thought it was funny because imagine that like, a nigga's like, what? We thought that was legit. What this nigga what? What do you mean AI? AI? I know my company's AI, but what do you mean? AI? Music? Never. So Mitchell has not been charged. Ooh, he has not been charged with any crime. The indictment denoted Smith's AI music partner as, quote, CC3, a shorthand for co-conspirator. That is oftentimes used to denote an individual who has cooperated. Ooh. And that's what I was going to say. So now it looks like what I was thinking earlier is actually the case. It looks like Mitchell pretty much threw your ass under the bus. So yeah, that's my original point. Do the fraud by yourself. Do the shit by yourself. Because we got bitch ass niggas like this. Bitch ass niggas like this. Alex Booney. Or Alex Mitchell. That's gonna be like, yeah. We didn't know what this nigga was on. We thought he was legit. But the fact that we on every song of his and we not going to jail, that got nothing to do with nothing. Nigga, you're a co-conspirator. You snitched. You took the Chick-fil-A. You took the McDonald's. You took the Burger King. When they came in the room and said, is the AC in here too bad? You said, yeah, it is. Can I get a jacket, please? When they said, do you need anything? You said, yeah, I need a cup of water, please. When they said, do you need a lawyer? You said, no, I'll just talk right now. We can just get over it. You said, when they said, hey, we don't know how long you're going to be here. You said, hey, I need to get back home. You wasn't ready for this. You wasn't ready for the field. And that's why, like I said, if you're going to do these crimes with these people, man, I'm telling you, it might seem a little OD. Nigga, when y'all get away with some shit, bro, just put that nigga to the side. Bro. If we do get caught, my nigga, you ready to like stand on business, right? Or at least, you know what I'm saying, hold it down for however long these niggas trip on you, right? Because it might be a couple hours. They might keep you in that room. And I don't think these niggas be having that conversation with these homies, bro. Because I would have told this nigga, bro, nigga, deny. Fuck it. But that sucks, bro. I hate when I hear shit like that. Like I said, I'm not. Y'all know me. I'm a civilian. I have a 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? I'm all for get a job. I'm all for go to college. I'm all for, you know what I'm saying, make your family proud. But if you gonna live this life, I feel like you should live it full fledged. You know what I'm saying? Don't half-ass it. Don't half-ass be a criminal. That's bitch shit. I'm sorry. I feel like you're a pussy. What the fuck? If you're gonna be in the streets, you might as well be in the streets. Why you wanna be in the streets and then be like, oh man, fucking damn, the police is on me. I wanna snitch. Well, what? You wasn't thinking about your freedom when you was killing niggas. You wasn't thinking about your freedom, and that is a little crazy. I know. But you wasn't thinking about your freedom when you was making AI music with this nigga and y'all was running it up. When you was getting that 50% every month, it was cool. The police come through, now you talking about some shit. I thought this nigga was legit. You a bitch. But a rep for Booney did not immediately return a request for comment Thursday. Smith's scheme eventually look. Well, let's leave it alone. Because we can't say necessarily whose idea it was. Clearly, they're putting it all on Michael Smith. Michael Smith's scheme eventually fell apart when his artificial streams were detected in 2023. Ooh, so from 2017 to 2023, he was good. He was smooth sailing. In 2023, he got caught. He was detected by streaming platforms and the Mechanical Licensing Collective, MLC, the official organization designated by the U.S. Copyright Office to collect and distribute digital royalties for songwriters. In a statement released Thursday, the MLC said Smith's guilty plea highlights the serious threat that streaming fraud poses to the music industry and the important role the MLC plays in confronting it. I'm sorry, I had to hiccup. When I say that burp was coming, was on his way. But essentially, the MLC, I ain't gonna lie, this is my first time hearing of y'all. Y'all apparently, you guys stop streaming fraud? I don't know, man. Like I said, when it comes to that shit, I feel like it's just hard to say because the whole idea is that these labels literally have bots to play music. So it's like, y'all don't be saying nothing to them, but if it's an independent artist and I have bots, it's a problem. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I feel like it's not a problem. I think it's more so like the amount of money you get. If you could stay under a certain threshold, I think you cool. I think it's when you start making millions of dollars and you're not really known like that, that's when the issue. Because what if he made the songs himself, but he still had the bots play it? Would he be okay? Is it because he uses the AI? Is that why they're coming down on him? You never know. Because maybe it's just because he has the AI stream in it. Maybe it's because of the AI bots. Maybe if he wasn't having all those streams, he could just keep making AI music. So it's interesting. We'll find out more later. I'll keep you guys posted on this. So that's 2 from Twitter. Should I get into some Instagram stuff? There's not really too much on Instagram that I want to say. Yeah, we're gonna just keep going. So, J. Cole talks about his wife crying of relief when he told her that he planned on apologizing to Kendrick Lamar. Let's listen to that. Let's see if that's true in the clip.
Before you made the apology?
These cat. Oh, if it's Nadestka, I feel like they wouldn't embellish her titles.
Before you made the apology, the 5 minutes, the 5 hours before, was it something that you had really thought of and planned? No. Or did you get on the stage and felt like, I need to do this?
No, it hit me an hour before.
Okay.
But before that, I was stressing the fuck out but in the moment that the idea came to me, like, you're a guy that's like, oh man, I lifted and I got light and I got excited. I got so excited because, you know, to tell you that 2 or 3 days before that, it was like, oh my, nah, this is terrible, because I felt like I misrepresented myself. You know what I mean? It's like all of a sudden I'm giving life to division and to negative storylines or negative perceptions from somebody that I fuck with and got love for. You know what I mean? Somebody that I like care about. And it's like, oh shit. In my mind, of course, I mean, I could take you back to, we know why that happened in the first place, right. But just to answer your question, that shit had me feeling terrible, because I'm like, oh my God, like, this shit is nasty. This shit don't feel right. And of course, leading up to it, it made sense. When I was doing it, it made sense. Actually, I can't really say it made sense, but in a moment where I wasn't clear, like we were just talking about, I chose to do something that didn't align. It's like putting on the fucking outfit, the Versace sweater or whatever. In a moment where I wasn't clear, I chose to go this way for reasons that I could tell you about. Well, all you need to know right now is like, yo, I felt miserable about it. Like literally, like my whole demeanor, my whole shit, my wife could tell. And so I'm like, oh my God, I gotta go on the stage and like come out here and pretend. It's almost like people think that I represent it. Mike Delete Later had just dropped. It's the biggest news. Not saying Mike Delete Later is, but just the drama of all of this is the biggest news happening. And I'm coming out as a representative of what the fuck they just heard. It's like, nah. So an hour before, it was like, like, yo, in a very loud manner, you know, in a very public forum on your album, you said some shit you didn't believe in.
What's up?
Now you got an opportunity to go on the...
Huh? Yeah.
A bigger forum, you know what I mean? A bigger stage is being live streamed and say something that you believe in. And in that moment, I'm like, thank you, God. Like, I told my wife, she the only one I told. I ain't tell nobody else. I'm like, yo, this is what I'm about to go do. She started crying because she know how I feel about him. You know what I mean? Like, she knows. And she saw how it was weighing on me the 2-3 days before that. She could see in my whole energy. And she would even ask me. And I'm just like, yeah, I got a lot going on right now. Like, so when I go and do it, I felt even better than I felt knowing I was going to do it. I felt like, if you would have seen me that night, man, mind you know, the demeanor of everybody around me.
I was just going to say.
Like, damn, nigga, like my man Barry from since the 80s, you know, he Earth Gang, son of Earth Gang, and yeah.
You'll always keep it real with you.
100%, that's my nigga, like, he just sitting there like, yeah, like, you a good dude, man. But he's almost disgusted about it. Like, he's almost hurt about it. And if you would have saw me, I'm just like, bro, like, I feel amazing because now the world knows how I really actually feel.
Yo, but this is what is mind-blowing to me, right? The reaction that everybody had, and we'll talk more like later, especially now.
I might have to go finish listening to that. I ain't gonna lie, because that's what I'm saying. I don't know. It sucks. Being a nigga like J. Cole, man. Because I really respect J. Cole. I ain't gonna lie. I did not like how my nigga Academics was going in on J. Cole in the last podcast, in his last stream. He was saying some fucked up shit. I'm not gonna play it. Sometimes when Academics go play, I'll be like, damn, do you ever think you're gonna see these niggas in real life? Like, sheesh, because he was saying some shit. I'm not gonna rehash it. But shout out to J. Cole, shout out to Academics, shout out to Nadeska, shout out to Billboard. I'm like, I want to make sure I didn't miss out anybody that I should have been shouting out. Oh, and shout out to the women that worked on the show called The Karen. What shit, is that you? Okay. It's called Deconstructing Karen. You know, give a big shout out to them. But no, big shout out to J. Cole. Like, you know, it's one of those things. I feel like as a psych major, you know, I usually can tell when someone's bullshitting. J. Cole, he seemed very authentic. Like, he seems like when he says that I decided to get out of that and I needed to, like, you know what I'm saying, like I did that and I feel like it's a relief. It's not from a sense of like, bro, it's not like I can't compete, but it's like, you know, it's like if I don't have beef with nigga, why would I have beef with you? You know what I mean? And I think in a battle like battle rap anyway, you can't just come on there with no half-ass energy like, oh, like we finna be cool after this, right? Like, you kind of gotta treat that nigga like you hate that nigga, even if it's just for the moment, even if y'all end up being cool later. For that moment, you and that nigga are mortal enemies, which is why, like I said, I don't know why Drake thought it was on some buddy shit. A nigga like Kendrick, bro, you're not finna, like I said, don't even step in this ring if you don't want to. We're not slapboxing, nigga. We really fighting. And I think that's what J. Cole probably peeped. Like, nah, this nigga Kendrick wants some blood. Like I said, like he said, Kendrick wants some blood. Everybody wants some blood. Yes, we definitely were disappointed because we know a nigga like J. Cole versus Kendrick Lamar versus Drake, that would have been amazing. But how we seen it play out, and like in hindsight, I gotta give J. Cole the grace. I gotta give him a whole bunch of cool points because it's like, nah, you did the right thing in my opinion. Like I said, now y'all can still make music together, which will be cool. Like if it's friendly competition, that'll be dope. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like you said, like he said, like just going against a nigga, I feel him. If you're not really on that, you probably shouldn't be on that. You know, like not been half-assed. You feel me? So yeah, shout out to J. Cole. Shout out to Chance the Rapper. He wins $35 in a court case against his ex-manager, Pat Corcoran. So, shout out to Chance the Rapper for that. The Jack Reacher star, Alan Richardson, was captured on video allegedly beating up his neighbor in Tennessee. You know I'm too far removed from shit when I start thinking that when niggas do actual crimes, they're just filming TV shows. I seen this video clip and I thought, oh, this nigga I was like, this is just a TV show. I said, he's Jack Reacher. This nigga's obviously filming another show. Bro, I guess he really fought somebody. Here's the details. The altercation reportedly occurred over the weekend of March 22nd, 2026. In Tennessee, and is said to have stemmed from a disagreement over a dirt bike noise and speeding in the neighborhood. Further reports suggested that the neighbor, Ronnie Taylor, claims Richardson was revving a green Kawasaki dirt bike and riding at excessive speeds. After an initial verbal exchange and hand gesture on Saturday, things turned physical on Sunday when Taylor confronted Richardson while the actor was on a bike with two children. Oh, wait a minute. So Richardson was the one on the bike? Oh, the plot thickens. So what I'm reading, it looks like Richardson was the one making the noise was making the issue, was causing the issue in the neighborhood. And his neighbor came saying, hey, bro, nigga, you too loud, bro. And I guess on Saturday it was just verbal, like, bro, fuck you, nigga. Not fuck you, nigga. Fuck you. Screw you, man. Screw you. Yo, freaking revving that fucking dirt bike up in here. I got kids that cross the street. Do you know how fast you're going? Do you know what can happen to a kid if they cross the street while you're riding that dirt bike? And Jack Reacher Star Party was like, you see, when me and my friends are in places, we really don't give a fuck. We could just fight this the easy way or do it the hard way. What do you want to do? Because based on the Jack Reacher show, if he's anything like the actor and anything like the character, that nigga don't do too much talking before he just gets to beat a nigga's ass. Like, he could be in the wrong and he's still gonna fuck you up. That's what the Reacher character is. But in the Reacher show, he's in the army or he's in the government, so like he has ultimate immunity. That's why he be walking around with his chest out. Nigga, you're not Reacher in real life, because if this is what you did, I ain't gonna lie, you definitely wrong, my boy. So it says that it turned physical on Sunday when Taylor confronted, but then again, I don't know why you would confront him. Taylor confronted Richardson while the actor was on a bike with 2 children. Ooh. According to reports, Taylor told TMZ that Richardson punched him, knocked him to the ground, and struck him multiple times, at least 4, while he was down. Video of the incident has begun circulating online, though some viewers suggested that unedited footage might provide a different perspective on who initiated the confrontation. As of now, law enforcement sources says no arrests have been made, but an investigation is ongoing. Taylor sustained facial injuries but did not go to the hospital. I ain't gonna lie, he might be guilty, cause yeah.
I'm an experienced. It started on Saturday morning when I'm an experienced motorcycle rider. I've been riding bikes all my life.
This is the neighbor.
So from dirt bikes to street bikes and etc. But it started on Saturday morning when I'm an experienced motorcycle rider. I've been riding bikes all my life. So from dirt bikes to.
First off, like I said, just like in a TV show, I would not want to get beat by this nigga. This nigga looks big in real life. Like, he looks like the Hulk. Like, the nigga was really punching that nigga. Dang. Man.
Good street bikes and etc. But I'd heard this incestuous revving and speeding through our neighborhood of the motorcycle. I eventually saw the guy on Saturday. I didn't know who it was. And I sort of, like, flippantly sort of said, "God, like he was quite aware." I said, "Can you just slow it down, please?" And then there are numerous people in my neighborhood who caught all of this on Ring doorbells of him speeding through the neighborhood. And on Sunday, when I was cleaning my bike outside my house, he rode past once, twice, and on the second time, I walked out in front of him, and I said, "You've got to stop. Someone's going to get hurt." And it escalated quite quickly from there. I did push him because he was coming towards me on his bike. He did it again for a second time. I pushed him a second time, and I think the second time he got off his bike and it kicked the crap out of me. And you can see he hit me in the back of my head. I went to the ground and covered myself. I've had such a shitty day today, and I don't really wish the guy any malice or ill will, but we just don't need people riding through neighborhoods like this. And I just decided, I'm going to take a stand because someone else has to. Because it's going to.
Aww. I feel bad. I feel bad because he seemed like he really he's like, bro, I don't even want no beef with this nigga, bro. Like, he's like, I don't even know this guy. This nigga is just driving his motorcycle up and down the hood. I'm not gonna lie. I stood in front of him. He kind of revved it at me. I pushed him. He revved it at me again. I pushed him again. The nigga got off the bike and he beat my ass. I don't want no issue with the guy, no malintent. I just don't want nobody riding, and I just thought somebody had to stand up for it. I think he realizes that if he didn't, and you know what I'm saying? And that's a real nigga right there. That's a nigga that can take accountability for his actions. He realizes that he should never put hands on the guy. He probably is like, maybe, okay, I probably could have cursed this nigga out, did whatever, but maybe when I pushed him, that's really, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, that's why I said with me, I'm not the type of nigga that if you're a man and you're a stranger, right? And I see you in the streets and you want a problem with me, if you don't touch me, it's not going to ever be a problem. But if you touch me, it's going to be an issue. So it's one of those things where it's probably like, he probably thought, man, I could just push this nigga around like, bro, like, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. And this nigga's like, all right. Push me once, all right. All right, bet. Wang. Not everybody has that same patience. And not everybody has to have that same patience. You can't dictate how somebody's going to react to something. You can't. So I think that's probably why he's like, you know what? All right. And he probably respects himself for like at least standing up to the nigga. Like he probably like, you know what? Hey, I got my ass beat, but I'm still gonna give myself some cool points for that. Cause like I could have just been like, fuck it. This nigga be doing something annoying. You know what's even funny? My dad kind of did something similar, and me and him, we kind of got into it. So, without doxing myself, there's this kid that walks through our block that has a dog. For some weird reason, the dog, you know what I'm saying? Let me not say it's not a weird reason, but there was a point where the dog kept pooping on our yard in particular, but the kid wouldn't pick up the poop. Bro, the nigga would let his dog shit on our yard, like fresh shit, stinky ass shit, and then leave it there. One day, I seen his ass doing it, and I said, hey, gang, you don't got no bags? And then, two, even if you don't have no bags, that's weird. Your dog just shit on our yard. Clean it up, bro. Oh, my bad. He said he was gonna do it. Stopped for like a couple days, then it started happening again. What the fuck is wrong with this kid? Don't know, don't care. My ass being so proactive, I said, fuck it, I'm gonna get a sign and put a sign in the shit to say that, hey, if you pull on our yard, we have our yard recorded. So that way we trip on this little nigga, we have evidence saying that we, you know what I'm saying? Cool. Once he put the sign, no more poop. Cool, whatever. The issue is resolved. So my thinking, no, the nigga just hasn't pooped in other places. Because my dad comes home one day, he parked the car, he see old boy walking his dog, and I guess the dog poops somewhere, and my dad notices that the boy doesn't have no poop bags. And my dad kind of like, oh, man, kind of does what the neighbor does. And he starts yelling at the kid like, hey, clean that up. And me, I just finished doing a run, so I was in the habit to be in the backyard, and I was like, Pops, what are you doing? Like, because for me, I'm like, bro, man, goes back to that racism topic. I know how we as foreigners could be looked at if we start doing the most. I don't need our neighbors tripping on us, or you know what I'm saying. We don't need that attention. You know what I'm saying. So I'm telling him like, Pops, calm down. Why you? And then I'm like, bro, that's not your kid. That's not your kid. That's not your yard. It's not our problem. He's like, what are you talking about? He said, this is our neighborhood. He said, this is our block. I have a right to say something. I'm like, you know what? You're right. You do have a right to say something, but it's probably not gonna lead. Cause I'm just like, I don't know. I just feel like it's just certain things where people just be like, they don't have no reasonable brain in their mind. There's not gonna be no reasonable moment after this. Like, you could talk shit to me, but you talk shit to my mom, I don't want to hear no reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just gonna start going crazy on you. And I know that's how people feel about their kids. So I was like, I don't want this outlook of you looking like you yelling at somebody's kid. You know what I'm saying? And then he gonna process it like, yeah, like this guy just yelled at me, mom. And now, for example, he gonna tell his parents that they can impress us. I don't need no extra stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though, right? Because even if that did happen, we would be in the right per se. Because it would be like, bro, the issue here is the fact that your son keeps walking around letting his dog poop and not cleaning it up. But people wouldn't want to hear the reason. They would only hear the fact that my dad, which is an adult, is yelling at a kid, or not a kid, but is yelling at somebody's child, telling him why they walking a dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just wouldn't look right. But like I said, on our property, it looks different. It looks like we actually have more. We have more say so in the matter. If it's not on our, that's all I was just trying to get him to understand. But he didn't get it. So in this situation, it's kind of similar. Is like you can't really, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't really say anything about how they could react, because in this situation though, you put your hands on the nigga. Like, you didn't have to push him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could have said what you had to say and left, which is why I guess which is what I learned about. Like I said, I'm not scared to speak up, but it's one of those things where it's like, I feel like if sometimes there's no point. You know what I'm saying? There's not gonna be anything done, which sounds terrible, right? As someone that's like, as for the plights that I'm trying to like work towards, that's not the attitude I should have. But it's just certain situations I just know, okay, I should just leave it alone. For example, when I'm in the gym. Whenever I'm in the gym, and I ain't gonna lie, I don't own none of this equipment, but I do take it personal when niggas be in the gym slamming the weights. And the only reason I take it personal though, I ain't gonna lie, is cause it's Planet Fitness. If I was in any other gym, like Gold's Gym, 24-Hour Fitness, LA Fitness, whatever other gyms there are, I wouldn't give a fuck. It's only because I'm in Planet Fitness, a gym where I feel like the whole motto is no judgment-free zone, no muscle heads, no people that's going to make anybody feel intimidated. I don't see how you guys are coming here dropping weights. You know what I'm saying? Like, the whole premise of this place is supposed to be more relaxed, more chill. But I guess, you know, with the new year, more niggas just started working out. So at my gym now, my home gym, we got more muscle heads in there. And them niggas be coming in there slamming the weights. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I told y'all I take it personally. So at first, part of me was like, I'll be honest, there was a nigga I was in the room when I was like, hey bro, I was like, brother, you could put it down, because he would do his weights and then just drop it. And I'm like, bro, it ain't nothing to just get a little lower and then place it down. Why are you dropping it? You already seen it. And I'm over here like, if I got my headphones on and I can still hear you, you're fucking being loud. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck. I'm sorry, that shit, I'm very passionate about this. I'm very passionate, as you can see. So, I'm like, bro, what? Bro, I told the nigga to stop, and he kept going. And I said, oh yeah, that's the last time I'm ever going to tell anybody to do anything here. Because, you know what I'm saying? I could turn up, and then I would be ultimately wrong, because what am I being upset about? Because the nigga didn't listen to me? I'm not his dad. I don't got no fucking say-so over this nigga. But I would be right in the sense of speaking up for the equipment, you know what I mean? But two wrongs don't make a right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter. So that's what I feel like in this situation. Like, I had to learn to do the same thing that he eventually is going to learn now too, which is that, hey, you can say something, but you can't expect nobody to listen to you. You know what I'm saying? But involving yourself physically, that's the worst thing you could do. So I learned my lesson, and that's why sometimes when I'm in the gym now, not even sometimes, when I'm in the gym now, and I see people dropping the weights, I'll give them a look, and I'll see if they look like a person of mind, body, and soul. They're sound. If they seem like they're sound, I try to be like, you know, trying to give them a look like, come on, gang, like, chill out. But if they look like there's somebody, like, they're not really there, I just look away. And there's a particular person at my gym, I don't care if this nigga see it. That's what I'm saying. Like I was telling you guys earlier with Matthew listening to my podcast, I'm at that point where it's like, now I know niggas be listening to this shit. Not to say it like that, but I know it's possible. So if he hears it, shout out to you, bro. Get yourself together. I honestly speaking, bro, I went to the gym yesterday. Word to bro. I literally told myself, I said, this nigga's on coke. Bro, this nigga was in there, eyes bulging. He's over there like this, like lifting the weight. You guys, to the listeners at home, I apologize, but he's over there, eyes bulging, moving very sporadically, sitting on the machines very weirdly. Like he just looked like he on something. So once I was like, yeah, this nigga might be on something. I said, yeah, I'm gonna just ignore his whole existence. Like, that's the thing. That's the difference between me and someone else. I could give you that stern look, or I could just act like you're not there. When I get to the point where I act like you're not there, it's over with for you. Cause it's like, bro, you're not even a thought anymore. It's like, oh, like I'm looking past you. You know what I'm saying? So I gave him the stare at first, cause I was trying to, like, you know what I'm saying, gauge him mentally, like what type of, like, cause sometimes, you know, some people just be trying to, like, get some attention. He might just be trying to look cool. But I was like, nah, this nigga's on something. Like, if anything, he probably comes to the gym to, like, work it off. You feel me? Oh, God. Nigga be too faded. But, yeah. Let this be a lesson to you guys. Do not go to your neighbor and then try to freaking tell them then they should be freaking do. So, alright, guys. As I said, today's episode is going to be a little different. I ain't gonna lie, we got a lot done today. And we got the 2-hour point. So I think I am gonna end it right here. It's your boy K-Stacks P. Please make sure you guys like the podcast. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitch. Make sure you guys follow me on YouTube, Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, Spotify. Make sure you guys fuck with me on those platforms as well, because I really appreciate you guys, and you guys are all a part of the family. Like I said, I couldn't do any of this without you guys, and I love you guys, and I appreciate y'all. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure you guys have a really good day today. Make sure you guys do something that makes you happy. I'm about to go to my school right now because, as you guys know, I'm about to be graduating soon, so I'm about to be on my way to go to the graduation fair right now. So that's why I'm really like, you know, that's why I'm like, next week's episode is going to be fully packed of a lot of stuff that I did this week. So overall, I just really want to get into some of these topics because these are really on my mind. And then, yeah, I gotta get into them next week too. But if not, I might, you know, y'all know me. Whatever we didn't get into this week, sadly, we're gonna start a new fresh week next week. So, it is what it is, and I'm saying that to myself. This is really off to me. Y'all don't really know what topics I had because at the end of the day, it is what it is. But I really was looking forward to this. But looking at the time and looking at what I had planned, I should have woke up a little earlier. So that's on me, guys. So please forgive me for the shorter episode today. I will make it up next week with a 3-hour episode where the first 2 hours, like I said, next week's episode is going to be long, you know. I'm going to have a lot of time. You know what I'm saying? So You know what I mean? I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Shout out to all the Scorpions out there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Make sure you guys stay blessed. Make sure you guys stay safe. It's your boy Case Has to Pee. And this is Stay Down LA Podcast, episode 38. I love you guys. I'll see y'all in the next one. I'm out. Peace.